God. Ask God.
Hey Scott, this is James. I have a question about your rule about products with on-off switches and bells and whistles and moving parts and so forth. How hard and fast is that rule? Is it more just for like beginners? You don't want to start with a product that has an on-off switch, or is it kind of a hard and fast thing? I have some really good ideas for a kind of a big product, and my initial products would be the kind of accessories that go along with it. But my ultimate goal would be to launch this kind of bigger thing. So I was wondering if you could give me some advice and your thoughts on it. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Hey, James, thanks so much for the question. And rules? I don't have any rules. Well, yeah, I guess I have said that in the past. My rule, my personal rule. And that doesn't mean you got to follow the rule. I'm not making any rules out there. I'm not that guy. On-off switches. Basically, that's telling me that it's an electronic device, right? It's got like electronics. You turn it on with a switch. And usually that means that there's a lot of wiring, or there's some wiring, and there's connections, there's soldering going on inside of that unit, or there's more pieces because the on-off switch does move as well. So my take on that is yes, for newbies, people just starting, definitely not. I would say no. Me personally, I wouldn't go down that road as being a new person, getting ready to sell something. Adding accessories to that, now you're onto something. Yeah, I think that that's a great idea. And I think you know that. So, good job there. Now, as far as this bigger, product goes, I'm not opposed to it, but there's going to be some different things involved here. And one of them being the quality needs to be like superb, because you don't want like something being mass produced with wiring and connections, and you having a batch of those that someone just didn't solder something, or someone, didn't do something right. The other part of that as well is the consumer using the product will tend to wear something, or, not wear it, like physically wear it, but, like it'll wear over time, or maybe they drop it. Or maybe, they misuse it, right? And it stops working. So if it's a flashlight, and the bulb doesn't work anymore because it broke in shipping, well, now you got a bulb problem. Now you got to ship everyone a bulb for the flashlight, even though the product is right, but the bulb in it is bad. So if you can see, there's a lot of customer service issues that would go with that, but it's not something that I would be totally opposed to if you could get the quality to where it was going to be great, and then you could create some type of support system for that, because you are going to get people that say this was missing, or this part fell off, or this broke after just using it 3 times, or it doesn't turn on, or any of that stuff, right? So there's going to be some troubleshooting. There's going to be some of that stuff. So that's really my reasoning for the on-off switch that you've heard me talk about. It's not a rule. It's just my rule, okay? And, if I was talking to you and we were having that cup of coffee, I would say, listen, starting, I would go the accessory route, but in the future, if you want to go into that, sure. Another thing you probably want to consider if you're doing that is probably doing something, US based. This way here, you've got a little bit more control of it. The quality could probably be a little higher. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. And I'm not saying that China doesn't produce good stuff. There's a lot of stuff that they probably produce that is great, but there's also that whole thing is it's so far away that if you have problems, it's going to take longer to get, and just all that kind of stuff. So I would try to do that US, based if you could. So just some, again, thinking out loud here with you on that to try to help you. But the accessory route, that's the route I like to look at in the beginning, especially. So we can say the iPhone or any cell phone for that matter, right? And I'm not saying to go out there and sell cases and sell that type of stuff, or, selfie sticks or any of that stuff. I'm not saying that because I don't think you should. And if there is any recommendation, I would say don't sell that stuff right now. It's saturated and you're going to be battling against all of these other people. But back to the point. The point is, people were selling accessories for this main electronic device. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. And I think that there's definitely room there to come in on most markets, because the accessories aren't necessarily going to be the breadwinner, if you will. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the one that's going to produce the bulk of the money. But if you sell accessories on a scale, a larger scale, then yeah, the profits can be really good. So I hope I'm making sense. I hope that's helped you a little bit. But if you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com, and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.